Are they prison chairs? You would know.
Mm-hmm.
They're disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
They're like not. These chairs are so much more comfortable. But Simon thought it'd be fun to have us in prison chairs.
Mm-hmm. Better than a prison cell, I must say.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into that.
I mean, I've been in the back of a van a lot. So have you.
What? That's true. Who knows more? Do you know as much about me as I know about you?
I know a little bit.
You've been in the back of a van a lot?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a way to get things rolling here. But what does that mean?
I've been in the back of paddy wagons all the time.
Oh, yeah. All the time, though?
Oh, my gosh. I've been shipped everywhere in those things.
Oh, back and forth to different prisons
Jails,
and stuff.
courts, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. But my van's not like it's fun. It's a fun, nice van. Yeah. Anyways, let's start it's a podcast. I don't even know how to start this. Maybe there's music playing or something right now.
Maybe.
Hello, everybody. You might not remember me. I'm JRDiGS.
I'm Emily O'Brien.
Well, I was going to introduce you.
Oh.
But that's good. That's who you are. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So what's happening here is that was like a firm handshake. Mm-hmm. Did you do high fives or just...
I can do high fives too.
Yeah. Your pinky kind of went out a little bit weird.
I know. I didn't want to hit the microphone, so I had to swerve.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of this kind of thing?
High fives?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no. Like interviews and podcasts and cameras and lights and...
I've done a fair amount. You know,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's
All
fun.
Right. We're going to get into it a little bit about why you're here.
All right.
And I'm going to say to everybody, hello, officially. I'm doing some creative, interesting things these days for Digital Canaries Entertainment. And we're doing podcasts and interviews and TV pilots. And Simon Winterson, you've met him. He was, I don't know how he knew you. How did he find out about you?
Through a photographer, a contact that we know, yeah.
And then, so Simon said, hey, this girl's interesting, JR. We should talk to her, do an interview with her, and find out about her story because you've become infamous in Hamilton, kind of.
Apparently, yeah.
And I said, well, I kind of do goofy stuff. I don't do serious stuff too much or never have. Mm-hmm. So forgive me, I'm completely unqualified to interview you or talk to you, but here we are.
Here we are. It's okay. I laughed my way through prison, so, you know, it's all good.
Well, there you go. There you, I think that's called, I think my pal Stephen Brunt calls burying the lead. No, whatever, but you just kind of gave it away, why you're here.
Oh, yes.
You're one of the Hamilton's most famous criminals right now.
Yes.
Or right now you're the most. Now, there's probably more famous criminals in Hamilton, but not right now.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, yeah, as far as I know.
Well, I was introduced to you, like I said, from Simon. He said this might be interesting if we do like this interview. Yeah. And then the tiny little bit of research I did led me to a 8-page article in the Hamilton Spectator. 8 pages.
Yeah.
I couldn't read it all online. It was there's too many things to scroll through.
I know. It's a hefty one. So
I'm not sure if that says a lot about the Hamilton Spectator these days or just you have the most fascinating story in the world right now.
I don't know if it's the most fascinating story in the world, but I think it just drew a lot of attention because, you know, I came from a pretty good family and I was really well associated in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? I was very involved in the neighborhood, did lots of community stuff, so did my family, and so this was just like out of left field for a lot of, and it was out of left field for me too when it happened, right?
So might want to say to everybody what happened, and then maybe we can go back to why it happened or how it happened, but you were put in jail.
Yes, prison, it's worse.
Oh, okay, well let's get into that in a second too. For smuggling drugs into the country from some resort destination. Which one? St. Lucia.
Yes.
And then you were caught.
Yes.
Persecuted, prosecuted, incarcerated, and now you're making popcorn.
That's right.
So we can talk about that a little bit too. There's a new business venture that you're involved in.
Yeah.
So we can talk a little bit about that as well.
Sure.
That's maybe why you're here.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, I'm here for like a lot of reasons because it's fun, because it's great to meet people. every day you're finding new creative ways to share your story, and this is just one of them.
See, if I was ever put in prison, and I might want to add too that these are prison chairs. Digital Canaries is a film studio, and they have all kinds of props and film sets and stuff. And this came from a prison cell, not a real one. You wouldn't know what a real one looks like. It's a fake prison cell. But they're the most uncomfortable chairs ever. Simon, he thought this would be, I don't know, fun is the right word, but apropos that we sit in these prison chairs. But they're really uncomfortable and disgusting.
Well, that's prison life for you. Gotta get used to it.
Can
Part of the ride.
I mean, I can sit in it for a little, but at some point maybe I'll switch back to a more comfortable chair.
You know what? You go right ahead. I'm
Okay.
used to this, so.
All right. Well,
all
just
good.
out of respect to you, I'll sit here in this disgusting. It just skeeves me out a little bit.
It's a deterrent factor. I guess you'll never smuggle drugs then. You know?
That would be it. I don't want to have to sit in these chairs for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So nothing deterred you from doing it?
No, like, you know what I mean? I was 26 years old. I was
How old are you now?
30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the court process is like molasses.
You haven't
Takes a
been in
long
jail
time.
for 4 years.
No,
You got a 4-year sentence.
Yes. After 2.5 years on bail.
So you were in jail for 2.5 years?
No, I was on bail. So
Yeah.
like that's like when your case is above the court and you have to keep going back and back because it's a very complicated, long process and
Wow.
trying to get the best deal because that's what I ended up taking was a deal.
Right.
Plea
Wow.
deal.
Well, why don't you just to catch everybody up, and then we can chat.
Sure. Yeah.
Like what take us back to, I don't know where you want to start, but your story, what you'd like to share with people. Why do you want to share this with everybody? I would never want to share this with anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to know that I was in jail and a bad person, basically. Well, no, you're not a bad person. Maybe you are.
That's the whole point.
Are you a bad person?
I was for a day,
Right.
not 26 years.
But according to the Spec article, it sounds like you're a bad person like a couple days, 4 or 5 or 7.
Still a very small percentage compared to the rest of my life. So
It's tough to know if I should just be goofy and funny
you can be goofy with me. It's fine.
or be judgmental.
Honestly, I've had it all. So,
Yeah.
you know, talk it to me.
Start from where you want to start telling your story.
Sure. Yeah. You know what? I grew up in Westdale, and I went to Westdale High School and graduated. Went to university. Always volunteered. Always had jobs. So I was very driven, even as a young kid. But I also started to dabble in the substances. I think it was, you know, a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of wanting to make friends. But I still managed to keep all my grades up. You know, I didn't see it as a problem because I was like, whatever, let's just go drink in the forest for the weekend and then I'll go to class on Monday. Like, what's the big deal? And then I started doing ecstasy and stuff in high school. But when I got to university, I drank. I didn't really do a lot of drugs in university, but, you know, it's like binge drinking culture. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Where did you go to school?
To Guelph.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, I had this concept I developed called strategic procrastination where I knew that I could get into I could get, like, as long as I did well in my final 2 years at university, you know, I'd be fine. So my first and second year, I just, you know.
But a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Anyway, graduated again with honors. So then I moved to Toronto after that.
You graduate with honors, so you're like smart girl. No, that's good to know.
Smart but stupid at times, you know.
Right.
But anyway, then I did some traveling. I went to Peru. I volunteered in Peru, Indonesia, Costa Rica. So I just love traveling, and then I came back to Hamilton, worked for a corporate firm for a bit, and then moved to Toronto. And when I moved to Toronto and started my own business, it was a social media business, I started abusing alcohol and drugs a lot more. Things kind of like started happening with my family, and that's when I started to use them to medicate. So, I mean, some people who don't necessarily use substances, they always think it's because it's to medicate, but honestly, it was just for fun for a lot of the time, right? And when I started to medicate, I actually met someone who I thought he was being genuine, but he actually wasn't. He was like all part of this elaborate scheme to get me to go on this trip with him and courier drugs for him and with him, like he did
Like
too.
you did it several times?
No, just once.
Right.
No, because I loved my passport, and I think that's why he targeted me, because he knew that I traveled a lot and I was free-spirited and, you know, single chick in Toronto who likes to drink. Like, what could go wrong? Right?
Wow. And so he's your boyfriend?
He was.
Okay.
Like, kind of.
For a long period of time? How long did you know him?
I'd known him for a couple months. Like, he had done all these like really nice things to get me to trust him. And then like I started to see kind of sketchy things happening. Like his business hired my business to do some social media work, and then like the checks started bouncing. I bought a car off him, and I never got the car. He just kept on making up excuses about where this freaking car was, and I never got it. Like, dude, where's my car? That really happened to me. And then, and then he's like, oh, do you want to just like get away from all this stuff? And
do you think you were just being naive right out of off the jump, as the kids say?
100% I was, because when you trust someone and when you're with someone, you don't even like look at what the consequences could be,
right?
Because you trust them.
Yeah, but if they don't give you a car and you paid for the car,
then he was like, if you come on this trip with me, I'll have the car ready for when we get back. So that was like, at first, because he told me he had to like do some work, and then I said I wouldn't have. He said I wouldn't have to be involved. But I definitely knew going down there that there was something going on.
And this is all like within a 2-month period. You only knew him for 2 months.
I knew him for about 3.5, and then he asked me to go on this trip.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I finally gave in to go on the trip, he booked the tickets like instantly. So. And then when I got to the airport, I noticed we were going somewhere totally different, because he told me we were going to Puerto Rico, and then I got to the airport and we were going to St. Lucia, and I'd never heard of St. Lucia before in my life. Like that's why I did cocaine, so that I would have a better memory.
Is that why you
that's
did cocaine?
why that's what I believed it helped me have, like, because I didn't want to be that drunk girl at the bar, so I would kind of use cocaine to be more alert. And I know I would recognize if I was going to a country I'd never heard of. So I think he did that intentionally, so I wouldn't tell people where we were actually going.
Wow.
Yeah. And then once we're at the airport, like, what am I going to do? Not go?
Right.
Well,
you could have not went.
But again, when you're like abusing drugs and alcohol, you like think you need people more than you really do.
Right.
And you depend on them more because I don't know, you just,
Like,
there's
did
like
you think
fabricated
you loved
chemistry.
him? Were you infatuated with him?
I think I was infatuated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say love.
So like, but you had a relationship with this guy.
Yeah.
Do you still?
No. Oh gosh, no. I haven't talked to him.
You don't talk to him at all? Mm-mm. So that whole got caught in prison thing kind of.
Well, everything he told me was a lie, so
right.
But.
And so you went down, and when did you start to suspect something?
On the third day. So we'd gone jet skiing on the Monday, and then we did like drugs. He didn't normally drink. He didn't normally do drugs, and I did. And I was like, oh, I want to party, whatever. And then on the third day, he said like I had to actually come with him to this work that he was doing, and I had to get in the car.
So you went to meet some people?
Yeah, and then they took my measurements. So we drove up this hill, and they took my measurements, and then we had to go to the mall. And I had to go shopping with this lady, and she picked out these dresses for me, like drug smuggling dresses. They're so ugly. The worst dresses I've ever seen in my life.
So none of this seemed scary at the time?
It was, but at the end of the day, he got me to trust him, and he calmed me down by like telling me nothing could go wrong, and that he'd done it before, and if anything happened, like, he would have my back. And
so some people will automatically, you have to assume, some people would think that you must have done this before.
Oh, my parents thought I did that before.
Right, or your parents.
But when you hear what happened at the airport, you'll know that I had not done that before.
All right. Well, keep going then. So you meet a lady, you go shopping.
Yeah.
They're measuring you to
Get these Spanx for smugglers, I call them, customized Spanx.
And they're gonna tape drugs to you.
They're sewn into like these like legging things.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get all this outfit on, this drug mule outfit.
Yeah, and I'm just like going along with it at this point because like this is what I have to do to get home. It was my fault. Like I had made the decision. I knew about it before. Now I was actually in it. I was doing it, and I just wanted to go home.
Were you going to get money for it, or what were you going to get out of it?
Well, he wanted me to like go on the trip with him, and I wanted my car.
Right. So he was saying to you, take these drugs.
Yeah.
Back to Canada in this drug legging outfit.
Yeah.
Nothing will go wrong. And then I'll give you your car.
Yeah.
And
like
so
he wanted me just to go as his girlfriend. And then he kept offering me. Before we went, he offered to pay me, and I was like, no, I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that. He's like, okay, why don't you just come with me as my girlfriend? So I thought I could just turn a blind eye.
Right.
Critical mistake.
Turn a blind eye to what?
To what he was doing. I thought I could just play dumb,
To yourself, you mean, or to?
Like on the trip, I didn't think I'd be accountable.
Yeah, right. But you knew the whole time that he was probably going to be bringing drugs back with him. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So when did you know that for sure in your mind?
That he was going to bring drugs back?
Yeah.
When he asked me.
Which was when you were down there or when you were on your way to the...
When he booked the tickets. Like, he booked the tickets and I said I would go, and I knew.
So before you even left Canada?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So you could have just not went.
I know, but at the end of the day, like, the element of greed comes up, and like greed is not necessarily about money. Greed can also be about like a quick escape, and that quick escape was like what I was going through in Toronto.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that quick escape.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so you did it for the money, I guess, right?
For the escape, just to get away, and I thought I was helping someone out. I thought I was being his like ride or die.
Right. What does that
Literally
mean?
almost died.
I'm not sure what that means. What is that? Like,
ride or die means like when you're someone's girlfriend, like you do whatever you can for them.
Right.
Ugh, this makes me so mad.
It does? It does now?
Fool, acting a big fool.
But at the time you didn't feel like that at all?
No, I was so drugged up and drunk, like everything was a blur.
Right. Because you seem so like normal and nice and
I am. I don't have a mean bone in my body, but I have a lot of lean muscle mass.
Yeah, because you told me you used to punch girls in prison. You used to punch them instead of we talked a little bit before the interview, and you seem so nice and everything. And I got to admit to you that I was like, it seems unsettling now for me, like to think you were like beating
we did
people up in
kickboxing
prison.
Class.
Right.
We didn't actually punch people.
Right.
But I did take self-defense lessons before I went because I was that person that believed everything I saw in the media.
Right.
So
back to like, so not to to get off track. You get down there. You know you're going down there to get drugs.
Mm-hmm. I know.
You've never done it before.
Never.
But one time you've done it one time?
No.
Half a time?
No. Oh, one time I accidentally had a little baggie of cocaine in my back pocket. I went to the States. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I didn't get caught.
See?
It's a little.
Did you sell it when you got back and make money?
No, I did it.
Oh, you did it. Okay. Were you like a drug addict?
I was an environment addict. I was addicted to the environment that I was in, for sure. But I didn't need cocaine.
Is that another way to say like I'm a drug addict?
No.
No.
Because I didn't need them to function.
Okay.
I didn't need them to, like I was driving around for work. I wasn't driving high on cocaine and alcohol.
Yeah, because this is all fascinating to me because I'm not a drug guy necessarily. I don't know that culture. I'm not being judgmental. I mean,
it's okay.
I just don't. I'm naive, I guess, a little bit to it. So I am fascinated by it. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole thing with you. I think, just sitting talking to you now, you're so delightful to over you. I hate that word when people say that people are delightful, but you are, and you're so like sweet and nice. And meanwhile, you're a drug mule.
For sure. I got a thick skin, that's for sure. But
yeah, it seems like you do.
Now I do, yeah.
You do?
But the time on bail was really difficult, because that difficulty, like my parents didn't believe me at first, and having the people that were closest to me not believe me that I hadn't done that before was very challenging to me.
I bet. Because according in that, again, to reference that Spectator article, because it was dove pretty deep. They said that your parents and everybody thought that all these trips, all these voluntary things, all these years you must have been doing this.
Yeah, it's just like an easy thing for them to like be like, oh, that's what she was doing that whole time, right? So that kind of divided us for it, and I was like, well, screw you guys then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But you didn't? You never did any of those times?
No, because I loved my passport. I loved traveling.
Right.
So much.
And if you got caught, you would lose your passport.
Yeah, which is I did.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So you agree to do this. You go down there. You get all the drugs on you, and then you have some more fun at the resort, I guess, or whatever. And then
I just got blackout the rest of the week because I was mad that I had to do it. I was uneasy.
You had blackout. You just got.
I just got wasted. I went to karaoke by myself.
Right. So because you were just how many days led up to that?
About 2.5 days.
Yeah.
So it was right in the middle.
And then you go to the airport, get on the plane. And then what happens?
And I'm just mad, but I'm like not mad. I've had so many emotions because I knew that what I was doing wasn't right, but I didn't really know how much trouble I was gonna get myself in.
Right.
But I was really bad at it, right? Like I was not an experienced drug mule, right? So to be thrown into this You know, like I wasn't really thrown in because I knew what was going on, but like at the end of the day, I really didn't want to bring the drugs back with me, but I wanted to get home.
Like, did you feel like you just didn't feel like you could just say, no, I can't do this?
He said I was already on the trip with him.
Right.
So like, that's kind of what you do when you go on these trips, he said, is you have to bring them back.
In hindsight, do you agree with that? You had no choice but to bring the drugs back?
I wasn't about to find out.
Right.
You know.
What, you thought he might do something bad to you or something?
Yeah, like when he told me I had to get in the car on the Wednesday, he had like this look in his eye, and I was like, but he didn't like hurt me or anything like that. He wasn't violent. Like, I don't know. I had this stupid spell on me, like hocus pocus.
Right.
Cocus.
So, but that's, I guess that must be the hard part, right? People sit and like they don't believe you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do I have that look in my eye right now, like the way I'm talking to you?
Like you don't believe me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I
hard
can't
to
mind read.
No, but you seem so. I don't know. It's like you seem so smart and so intuitive and so together, and I don't know. It's hard to believe that for me, it's hard to believe that you aren't in control of that situation or what could happen to you. You look like you're in pretty control.
I am now. Well, I've been sober for over a year, so that helps.
Oh, good, right.
Yeah.
No, but that probably maybe what makes a big difference, just not being on drugs and alcohol.
And like alcohol also creates a false sense of chemistry with people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't love that guy. But that's what the alcohol made me feel like I did. That's why it made me feel like I had to like do anything for him.
Yeah, yeah.
But also it's still my fault. I still had to take responsibility.
Was there a time when it wasn't your fault in your mind, do you think?
Yeah, because that's what he also had told me to get me to do it. It's like, just tell him, it's not going to be your fault. It's not going to be your fault. Like, just tell him it's all me, right? And then that doesn't work.
Right.
Oh no, RCMP does not take that for an answer.
Yeah. So, but it's not RCMP who caught you. It's the people that ask the questions when you come across the border.
Yeah, CBSA, and then I was formally arrested by the RCMP.
So just to keep the timeline going, you
Sure.
you get in and then somebody starts asking you questions when you come.
Yeah.
Like there or here?
In Canada, at Pearson.
At Pearson. So you'd flown, you got on the plane.
Yeah.
You're on the
sitting on the plane with this like SOG. It's like, I don't know, it's so heavy.
Wow.
It's awful.
And the whole time you're sitting on the plane with all these drugs.
I just wanted to do them.
Now, pardon me?
I just wanted to do them to like calm myself down.
Were you on drugs at that point?
No, I was sober.
How come you decided to stay sober then?
Because for some reason I think being sober would help me tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like subconsciously. And I knew that being sober would, like my body would show signs of like discomfort and distress. So maybe it was my own way of like not giving it away intentionally.
You think you wanted to get caught, you mean?
I think I did.
Wow. How come?
Because I didn't ever want to have to do it again.
When you thought that this cycle would just continue and continue with this dude?
Mm-hmm.
So you thought if I get caught, I'm away from this guy and...
I'm useless as a drug mule, as like someone that can courier for them to profit. Yeah.
But not realizing that you'd also then would be in trouble?
Yeah, like I thought that if I got caught, I didn't think I'd have to go to prison. I didn't think it would, no. Because again, I didn't look it up, right?
But what did you think would happen?
I thought I'd just maybe get put in jail and then it would be on him, like he told me.
But that wouldn't scare you? Didn't scare you to have to go in jail? I don't even want to sit in these chairs.
No.
It's disgusting for me.
I'd been in the drunk tank before, but that was...
You have? What did you do to get in the drunk tank?
Have
you had a criminal record before this at all?
Yeah.
You did, okay.
A summary offense. So I got a DUI, unfortunately, in 2009.
Right.
But fortunately, nothing happened, and so like I never did it again. But.
And that's the only criminal record you had?
Mm-hmm.
Did you sell drugs when you were here?
Here?
Yeah.
No.
You just did them?
Yeah.
You never sold drugs?
No.
No.
I mean, I got drugs for free because I got like my drug dealer into like different parties and stuff, and then he would sell a lot, so it's kind of like a referral.
What?
Yeah, like I would get free drugs for getting my dealer more deals.
So you were in the culture for sure, like not just a recreational user. You were part of...
I was going to these parties anyway, so I might as well, if I'm going to them, I might as well get free shit.
Right.
Sorry.
That's okay. You can swear. I'm pretty sure we're in disgusting chairs talking about you strapping drugs into your body. I don't think you're going to get any more trouble from Simon or anybody for saying shit.
Yeah.
You've been in enough trouble now.
Yeah. But I'm safe, and that's the most important thing.
You're safe now.
Yeah. I'm safe, and like could have been so much worse.
How so?
I could have been caught in St. Lucia and, you know, fed chicken feed and been trapped in like an actual cell with dirt on the floor. And
Oh, if they would have caught you there.
yeah. Could have been so much worse.
Really?
Yeah. That's not even the worst that would happen down there at those prisons.
Wow. And that didn't occur to you either?
He told me like they all knew at the airport. He's like, oh, these people, they all know. And like, it was just a calming technique, I think. I don't think that's actually true. But at the time, I believed it.
Like, were you a naive person?
Yeah, I was so naive.
You don't seem naive now. You seem further away from the microphone. But
Well,
you're
I've had
don't
like,
seem
this
naive.
is like in 2015, right? So I've had a lot of time to reflect and
Okay,
be
yeah.
mad and be sad and, you know, pull together my resources and pull out of it,
Right.
right? So
So you, man, there's so many different directions I guess this could go, right?
I know.
Like, and so
complex.
where do you want it to go? That, like,
Wherever you want.
I don't know. There's so many questions I could start to ask you. But I think that's the fascination a little bit. I think that our culture has maybe why you got 8 pages in the local newspaper and you're like, I was, you know, being a little bit sarcastic off the top, saying you're the most infamous criminal in Hamilton. I mean, maybe you are actually, right? Is there anybody more in the media right now as a criminal in Hamilton than you?
I don't
At the
know.
moment? I don't know
Maybe
of
they are,
anybody.
but it's not their choice. You know,
Yeah.
maybe they're just written about.
How did you get caught?
They pulled
Did
us
dude
into
have drugs on him too?
Yeah,
Or just you?
he did too. Yeah, and then I didn't know how I was supposed to act at the customs. And you know when you go up to the first thing and then they scribble that little number, and you never know what it means, right? And then, but I'd never been called into secondary in my life, like at Pearson, ever.
Secondary's after
Yeah.
they pull you out of line or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they separate us immediately and they ask us a series of questions about like my job and my life and if I like to do drugs and when the last time was.
Did you say you did?
Yeah.
Because you do.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I learned from this interview, is you like to do drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah. Oh, just one? Cocaine?
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, cocaine must be bad, eh?
Yeah,
Not really?
it's pretty bad.
Is it not bad?
I mean, look where it got me, you know.
Right. It's popular though, right? Is cocaine
Party
popular?
drug, yeah.
Yeah. And that's where you're smuggling across cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
was it? So you get to Pearson, they take you to secondary, and then what happens?
And then they can just tell, like my body language is like just disastrous. Like I'm looking all over the place. You know, I'm looking at my shoes. I'm looking at him, but I'm mad, but I'm not mad.
He's in there with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I'm wearing this dress. It's honestly down to my like legs. And you can tell he's freaking out now that we're called in secondary. He's like, pull your dress down. I'm like, what does that even mean? How am I supposed to pull it down?
How's he talking to you? There's no one with you? They're just the two of you?
Yeah, because he's in front of me.
Okay.
And then they're like, okay, you go over here and you go over here.
Right.
And then, you know, they already know the answer, these guards, right? They're just
Sure.
trying to see. And then they asked
How
me.
could they tell? How did they know about you?
Because it was so poorly disguised. Like it probably looks like I had a box of Kleenex under my shirt.
It was? Really? See, didn't that alarm? At least if I was going to be a drug mule, and I'd be a horrible drug mule.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I think I would at least go like, guys,
Like,
get
what are you
this right.
thinking? Yeah.
Take this, duct tape this
Like
tighter.
squishing around, like so much noise.
How much drugs were there? How
It
much
was
money
2
were the
keys.
drugs? What is that? A lot?
2 kilograms. So one was right here in like a little pouch, and then one was on the back.
So 2
Ghetto
little
booty.
bricks, kind of brick size of cocaine.
Yeah.
How much is that worth?
About 150,000
$150,000 each or together?
together.
So there's $300,000. So how much of that would you've got? How much of that money would you've got?
Me? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Wow.
Because it was like for him, like he set it all up. I was just going as his girlfriend.
So you're carrying $150,000 worth of drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just want your car out of this.
Just want the damn car.
How much is the car worth?
10?
Damn. Like maybe it's an expensive car though, right? 10,000?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of car was it?
It's BMW 2009 or Or 2005.
Did you grow up rich?
No, I grew up with like a good family, but not like we weren't loaded, but I had a really good childhood for sure. Like they put me in camps and programs and great parents. Shout out to mom and dad.
How's the relationship with mom and dad? Is it?
Oh my God, so good now.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because they must have been horrified, right?
Yeah, like they were just confused as I was, and like they were scared, and it's very stressful for them because my mom had to like be my surety, and they put me on house arrest, and I didn't really like the rules of house arrest because I wasn't ready to take responsibility for what I did for quite some time.
Yeah.
And so I was just out all the time. And
you were so you got caught. You go into house arrest. Well, until they determine whether they're with the.
Yeah.
And then you just went out partying anyways.
Just after I realized that no one was really watching me.
So like, are you a rebel at heart then, like a little bit?
I definitely have a bit of rebelliousness in me.
Right.
I would say.
And how's that going for you?
It's good. I mean, like when you run your own business, you have to have a little bit of rebelliousness for sure, but it's just like channeling that into positive things.
You're referring to your popcorn business.
Well, yeah, and then my social media business that I had before too was like really good.
Right. And we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But first I want to find out because I love popcorn and I could talk to you for another whole podcast just about popcorn, especially if it's delicious. Yeah, we can do a popcast. I don't know what we're going to call this. What was the idea?
Concast?
Yeah, the concast. Cons.
She's going to do the concast.
Yeah. She'll get her own. She should get her own. All right, she'll get her own concast.
Yeah, so you should do
yeah.
part of the conversation, bring it around to her doing the concast.
So, right, yeah, that's a good idea. So, like, are other people as fascinated by this and as amazed as I am?
Yeah, I got like a lot of questions, but it's good because I think people respect the fact that I took ownership, and I know that I'm putting a lot at risk by sharing my story. I know that there's going to be people that will just never believe it, and I know there's going to be people that say negative things.
I only half believe it.
I know, that's okay.
Yeah, but it's just hard to believe that you were,
unless
you were a very different
person. Tell that to me 4 years ago. I couldn't believe it either.
And that could happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could happen, change.
But that's what everyone thinks, is that it can never happen to them.
And that's too bad, right? That must be hard to go through life now. People don't, people you meet don't believe you, or they are like roll their eyes and I guess what are you going to do?
Yeah, I have like more positive people than like there's obviously some negative, but it's never to my face. It's always like through another source.
Do you hang out with any of your drug friends and stuff anymore? No.
Like they all have their own lifestyles,
yeah.
But I don't party with them.
Right. Yeah. So you they ask you these questions, they know you've got drugs, and then how do they then reveal it?
Yeah, so they asked me, Miss O'Brien, so do you have any drugs in your suitcase? And I'm like, no. And then they're like, okay. And then I'm just being all dodgy, all kinds of sketchy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Miss O'Brien, so do you have any drugs on you? And then I just look at the floor. I don't even answer. I'm all white. I go all white. And I just got back from vacation, so like that's white, like I'm
right. Yeah, because all your Instagram pictures, you're on the beach having the time of your life.
Yeah.
So you're tanned up, yeah.
Yeah. And then I said yes. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, okay, you're under arrest. And
is dude still in the same room as you at this point?
No, he's like, once I admitted to it, because I was like, they're going to search me anyway.
Sure.
And I knew a little bit about the judicial system. Like, the sooner you tell the truth when they know you're doing something is the better. And that ended up helping me tremendously. Yeah.
And so how did it help you?
It helped me get a lesser sentence. It was one of the mitigating circumstances in my sentencing. Yeah.
So you got a 4-year sentence.
Yeah.
And you served how much time in jail?
10 months.
So how did you get off so early?
Good behavior. So I did everything in my correctional plan, it's called. So anyone that was sentenced to 4 years that did everything right would get out at the exact same time as I did. Like I didn't get any special treatment because of like anything else. It was statistically, if I did everything right at that period of time, I got out. So. Was
it scary in jail?
It was scary the first couple days.
Or prison? You're in prison, you said.
Yeah, pen.
That's different.
Pen time.
Really? Does it seem cool?
Honestly, I met someone before I went in randomly through a work event, and she had actually done time for the same thing. And so she was kind of my mentor.
What did she teach you?
She just told me all the rules and like how to prepare and things that you need to do as you get in, like how to contact your parents efficiently. And so now that's kind of what I do, is like I help people that are going in.
You do?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time.
So that's a good thing.
It can really help, because Corrections Canada is just like a nightmare to deal with sometimes, like in terms of communication, in terms of, you know, you connecting with your loved ones and visiting your loved ones. There's all these unwritten rules that can change daily, and it's difficult to navigate. So the more you know going in makes it easier.
And so you had it under house arrest for a little while, and then you had to actually end up in jail then?
Yeah. So then because I took a plea, I had to surrender, and it was my mom's birthday.
It was? Like you
Bye,
laugh
Mom.
about that. Oh, my mom would.
We were excited. We were happy because it was over, you know, and
The house arrest part.
the house arrest and not knowing, like, when is this going to end, right? So this is the beginning of the end.
And so you go to jail. Do you have like wear orange outfits? Is it like Orange is New
Wear
Black kind of thing?
Sweatpants.
Sweatpants?
Sweatsuit.
You do?
In provincial. And then when you go to federal prison, they still give you institutional clothes called standard issue.
Yeah.
Standard issues.
Do you
Pretty
like
much.
Orange is the New Black?
The show?
Yeah.
No, because I lived it. Why would I need to watch
Is
the
it
show?
like that? I hate that series anyways. I don't really like it. I'm not a fan. Are you a fan of the show?
I read the book. The book was good. But like again, it's American. So Canada and U.S. prison systems differ incredibly, right? So that alone makes it so different.
Did you, like what was the scariest thing that would happen? Like this is more fast.
Scariest thing?
The other drug stuff, I can imagine that because I've seen enough movies, but this is what fascinates people, I think. Like somebody like you in prison. No, but you're like that girl from the Orange is the New Black in the sense that I think why that series is popular is because she's like a pretty girl who's in prison, and then I don't know, people are fascinated by that. Well, I don't know what to call her. She's an attractive woman who's in prison with a bunch of other women. Were you the most attractive woman in prison?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think everyone
Top
there's
5?
beautiful in their own way.
But what was that like though? Do you watch that series?
I did before I even got arrested.
Right. But isn't that oh no, that's what it's going to be like?
Yeah, originally I thought that too. But then once I met that girl who helped me,
Oh, right.
I was like, okay, no, it's not like that.
You see, but we weren't scared. I would be so afraid. I would run away.
I don't know. I know I'm not a confrontational person, and I know that I don't start drama. So
But still, you're in prison. Somebody's going to, I don't know.
you better know how to punch.
So did you have to punch girls?
No, but I know how to punch.
See, this is what scares me about you, and you were saying this earlier. Like, and everything seemed like you're a delightful, nice person, and then you're talking to me about punching people.
Well, you have to learn self-defense.
But maybe there is another side to you. Maybe you're a
I've always been
raving
feisty.
lunatic.
No.
Yeah, but that's what raving lunatic drug mules say. They're feisty.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice, fun way to say, oh, I'm going to shiv you.
Well, I'm a middle
shiv you."
child too, so maybe that has something to do with it.
So did you get in a fight at all in prison?
No, just a
This is
couple
like a
verbal
whole other hour we
altercations.
could spend just talking about this. We should make
Got more fights with my boyfriend on the phone than I did.
so you have a new boyfriend? You met him while you were under house arrest?
Yeah, he was my old neighbor. I actually knew him from high school.
And then you met him at what point, so you broke up with the guy who made you smuggle the drugs.
Yeah, I was
You said,
banned
I don't
from
want to
talk-
be with you anymore.
Yeah, I was like, I hate
This
your
is
guts.
over.
I was like, go
You
die.
made me, right.
Yeah.
It's a good way to break up to somebody, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Like-
Legally broken up.
Yeah.
Can't talk.
And then that happened, and how long were you in house arrest?
2.5 years.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm not so smart. I'm not doing that. So 2.5 years, you just were waiting to go to jail, to prison?
Yeah, well, waiting
Why
to
would it
see what
take
was
that
going
long?
on. Because first of all, they had to separate my case from his.
Yeah.
So originally they're going to charge us together, and then the second part was that they had to find a prosecutor they want to work with.
Right.
And then the third part was that they want to find a more liberal judge that was used to dealing with drug cases that was more lenient.
Right. Your people wanted
My
that.
lawyer, yeah.
Right. Was it an expensive lawyer? Could your folks afford an expensive lawyer?
Yeah, I paid for half of it, and then
How? With
I had savings. Yeah.
where did you get the money from?
From work, from my business in Toronto.
You did?
Yeah.
See, right away, I was joking there, but the assumption is, I don't know, maybe you've got a bunch of drug money
No.
hidden away. Maybe you could, but that must suck for you because people will always make these assumptions about you now, right?
I don't even care.
Right.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, no. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
You like, unless you can spin it positively, like you are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I want to just go veer off here or just because I could go so many different directions with this line of questioning. I'm not trying to do that. I'd rather just learn about what happened.
Interrogation, I'm used to it.
Yeah, are you? Is that what it's like, an interrogation?
Yeah.
So when you went to, how are we doing for time here? I'm kind of losing track.
Yeah, we're at 43 minutes.
Oh yeah, good.
So I didn't know how long you wanted to go for.
Okay, so I genuinely am fascinated by your story,
Thank
by you. So for 2.5 years, you lived at home.
Mm-hmm. Technically.
And then you met a boyfriend, a new guy, became your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And then he knew you were probably going away to jail?
Yeah, I didn't like accept the fact that I was going to jail for a long time. And then I finally, about 8 months before I went in, I kind of, saw it as an opportunity. I saw it as a time for growth and recovery.
Yeah.
Repair, all those good, fun things.
Even though he knew that you'd be going away to jail, he still...
Yeah, because we didn't really know for how long until we got the plea deal.
Are you still his girlfriend?
No.
Oh, that's over too.
Yeah.
When did that end?
He started seeing someone else when I was inside and lied about it. So whatever.
So you met this guy, went out with him for how long?
A couple years on and off.
On and off for a couple years while you were under house arrest.
Yeah.
And then you were still together when you went into prison.
Yeah. And then he got banned. He got banned from visiting from...
He did?
Yeah, for some stupid reason. The prisons use these stupid ion scanners to scan you if you have narcotics, but they've been proven to ring off for substances that are the same at the molecular level are the same as household items. So oh, he has all these drugs on him, and so they banned him, and then he decided to start seeing someone else and lied about it. So that's why I was like, if you want to go see someone else, fine, but just tell me.
You're I'm in prison. You might as
go
well.
ahead.
Yeah.
But
And then why? So he did?
well, he said everything was fine, and then I knew something was going on, but he wouldn't spit it out, and then someone else told me.
They did?
Yeah. I was oh, so weak, but.
Which is harsh when a girl.
It was hard,
going,
honestly. It was hard in there just because I just expected better of him. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine what it was like being in his shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't even be mad at that because if I was on the outside too, I probably wouldn't know what to do either.
Sure.
Right. So you have to look at it from both ways.
Right. And do you ever talk to him anymore?
No.
No. Who are these guys?
Honestly, I think he meant well. It's just he just was stuck, and but I don't really.
Yeah, because that would seem hard, right?
Yeah.
In his defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the first guy.
Yeah.
Screw that guy.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a bad guy.
Despair.
Don't you ever want to? Is he in jail? The first guy?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think he's taking his to trial because he still hasn't gone in yet. And when I came out,
and it's been 4 years now, and he still hasn't been prosecuted like you or anything?
Yeah, if you delay court on your own accord, it can take as long as it wants. It only goes away if it's the court's fault for delaying it. But he's definitely delaying it himself, and so that could go on for years. He could be on bail for 8 years.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
And he never called you or anything?
No.
You don't reach out to him? He
watches he watches my social media. I know
he
that.
does?
Oh,
you can see, because you can tell when somebody's looking at your story. I know that.
Yeah.
So you can see that? And so he follows you on social media?
Yeah, sometimes, not every time.
Why don't you block him? I know how to do all that stuff.
Because I don't really care, because I'm
You
showing
can
him
block
what the hell I can do when
Are
this
you
happens.
offended by swearing?
What?
You're surprised that you're swearing? You're talking about your...
I was this is what the fuck I can do. That's it.
Your...
Bye.
Right. Do you ever reach out to him and say, why are you hey?
No, because I don't really care.
Right. You're over him.
Yeah. I just hope maybe he can learn from this I did.
And
Which I'm sure he
what
has.
did you learn?
I learned that you should always try to be a good person no matter what, and because when we fall, and we all fall in life, we need help up.
Yeah.
And if we're an asshole to people all the time, it's harder to get that help. And also treat your family with as much love as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Even through difficult times, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to have your back 100% through
Yeah.
anything.
Sure.
Right?
If you're lucky, not everybody's that lucky, but it sounds like you are.
Yeah, and like apologies take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes when you hurt other people, whether it's like through substance abuse or anything like that, or a situation like mine, sometimes you have to work for it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and prove it.
Like you seem pretty well adjusted and recovered. Is that what you are?
Yeah, like my family raised me in a way that like to teach me that I could always reach my full potential, that I had a lot of potential always, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew I was capable of a lot, and now this is just me being capable.
You have 2 other siblings, right?
Yeah.
And how are they? How's things with them?
They're good.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing kind of like their own thing, but I'm really close with my younger sister.
Right.
So.
It must have been so horrifying for your family and scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, also on the other side, you know, I'm missing these drugs. I didn't know if someone was coming after me for the longest time, right? So I lived in
Oh,
a
yeah?
constant state of paranoia,
Oh,
where I
the
had like
people the
police
drugs are supposed
batons
to
in my
go to.
car. I had like Uzi pens,
You had what?
like an Uzi pen, like it's like a sharp thing. I don't know.
What is that?
Brass knuckle,
Oh, yeah?
brass knuckles. I had like everything.
Because you were afraid that the drug people are going to come after you.
I didn't know, but then at the end of the day, like I also know some drug mules get sacrificed at the border. Like the amount that I had was so little. So what?
That's a little? $300,000 is a little?
It's little compared to what some people would have on the same plane ride.
Wow.
So
Wow.
and like if they went after me, it would just bring so much heat on them. Like
Yeah,
that would be a huge case. Like
Right.
you couldn't get away with
Did you
that.
meet other drug mules?
In
Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
In prison, did you meet others?
Yeah.
Is
That
it like
was
a group? You know how in prison they always,
The cliques.
they have cliques?
the clicks.
Was there a
whatever.
drug mule clique?
Yeah.
There was?
Yeah, we all lived in the same apartment. It was
Really?
Great.
How many drug mules in your?
There
no,
was
they weren't a gang. You're
there
a
was a
group, in your
lot.
group.
Like we weren't all friends, but I was close to 5 or 6 of them.
And are you still close to them?
Yeah. Yeah, we talk.
Wow.
That was like when I learned how many people were in prison for importing drugs. That was kind of like the inspiration for like sharing my story and building what I built, because
Yeah. So that
the lowest hanging fruit on the drug trade is sentenced to 5 years, right? Why? Why didn't you follow me out of the airport to see where I was going if you're so concerned about this drug problem?
Right.
Like obviously it's not me organizing this, right? So
Yeah. So that frustrates you then. You're like, why'd you pick me?
yeah, like at the end of the day, like I'm glad it happened because it helped me become this person that I am
Less
now.
on drugs.
Yeah.
Will you ever do drugs again?
I don't know if I won't do cocaine, but I don't know if I can't say I'll never drink again. Like let's not be extreme here.
Well, you could be.
But
You could never drink again or do drugs again.
I don't know. That's a tough question for me because one side of me is like, oh my God, I'm going to get so wasted when my warrant's done. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, or at the other side, I don't want to fall back into it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to, I know my personality type as well too. So I don't know. It's a tough question to say, but definitely not cocaine.
I would say
Too
don't
much
do
on the
any
line.
drugs.
Too much on the line. High stakes. High stakes.
But I wouldn't do any drugs ever again if I were you.
Like not
And
even,
we don't know each other, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare to try to tell you what to do, but I say don't do drugs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Ever
saying no to
again.
drugs, but maybe to vodka.
See? Now people are going to see how like you're seeming like lighthearted about this. People won't like that. Do you know that? People will think you're not taking all this seriously.
No, I think I take it pretty seriously, but
But they won't. They'll think you're just you.
it was just a joke if you're listening.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
There.
say. Is I think that because I'm looking at you,
Yeah.
and I think that you're serious. I don't want people to misinterpret and think you're just nonchalant about this. Like you're in prison.
Yeah.
You were the Hamilton Orange is Black girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even like the series. No, it's me who doesn't like it. You don't mind it,
I don't mind it.
right?
I don't mind it.
Could you? I could never watch something like that ever again because it would remind me too much of this horrible thing.
Yeah, it's not really interesting to me because I've seen it. I've lived it.
That would be a whole other thing. We could do in a whole other hour. Maybe you should just have your own podcast thing here,
Yeah.
and I could talk to Simon, and we could say, Emily should just come in and talk about like all the different chapters and all the things by yourself. Get me out of this picture.
No, no, you gotta stay in the picture.
Not really. It's very unsettling for me. But I'm glad I got to meet you and talk to you about this.
Yeah.
There's so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your popcorn.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Part
else we
two.
need to say about your incarceration and your?
Just that I think that when I got to prison, I realized it was all people that had made one decision, like one bad decision, and it didn't determine, like their personality as a whole. You know what I mean? Like it's not like no one goes out and is like, I'm going to harm the community today. Like that's never the basis for any decision.
Yeah.
And people that come out of prison just want to work so hard. You know, like they just most of the people in prison, the women were mothers, right? So they've been separated from their kids, and now they're if they were poor before they went into prison, well, they're even poorer when they get out. So it's more of an obstacle, and you know, obviously there is an element of prison, like you have to do your bit, right? You have to do your time to make to level out the playing field, right?
Sure.
But sometimes people forget that prison also causes harm, and that the prison sentence should end when prison ends, and sometimes that's not the case. Usually it's not the case. People are continuously punished for what they did, even though they're out.
Well, I mean, you'll experience that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But instead of that, you're making popcorn.
Yeah, I'm building this business so that I can employ people that have done time and use it as a way for people to share their stories and become involved.
Well, how do you mean? What is the? Because we should talk about like cons and kernels. Seems like catchy, right?
So good it's criminal.
And is that you on the cover?
Yeah.
Is that the dress that you wore when you were smuggling the cocaine?
No, I don't know how I got in that outfit. Like I
Because it seems a little
had a
short.
designer
this
do it
dress.
over the phone. I
Yeah.
know, it's a little risque.
Yeah, a little bit. It's just
The
you
kilt.
and and the bars are all broken open, right?
Yeah.
So you're not you're okay about talking about. Do you want people to think about drug mules when they eat the popcorn, or how does that?
Yeah,
How
maybe
much
if you're
is a
sitting
bag
on a
of- How much
plane.
is a bag of that popcorn?
That's 3.
3?
Yeah.
Think that's good value?
Yeah.
What's good about this popcorn?
What's good about it is popped in coconut oil, made with mushroom kernels.
See, mushroom kernels. I'm thinking that's a drug reference. Maybe, right?
Could be.
Do people think maybe there's drugs in the? What if you charge $30 for this? Would people assume there's drugs in the bags?
Oh, 100%.
But it's only $3.
Yeah.
So it's just popcorn
It's just popcorn.
made with coconut oil.
Coconut oil, sea salt. That's the flavor called Gen Pop, which is Gen Pop is also a prison term.
It is.
So a lot
So
of
there's
the
a whole
flavors,
prison theme to the popcorn.
Yeah. It's so people can understand what it's like and not just what the media says it's like. It's painting a new picture from someone that's actually experienced it.
And where do you sell the popcorn?
I sell it at a couple cafes in Hamilton right now, and I do it online. So people order it online, and then I just drop it off or do parties. And
How's
stuff.
it going?
It's good. I was just on Dragon's Den.
You were?
Yeah.
How did that go?
I can't tell. I'm not allowed. Sworn to secrecy till September.
You can say something. What are they going to do? Put you in jail?
Literally. Financial jail
What are they
because
going
they'll
to do
take.
to you? What can anybody do to you
What?
now after what you've been through?
Oh,
Tell.
yeah.
Tell what happened.
No, I can't.
What will they do to you? The dragons
Breach
are
of
going to.
contract.
Don't
It
worry
was a
about
great
it.
learning experience.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, do you know Dave? Okay, so one of the former Dragons, Dave Chilton, is
Okay.
my coach, my business coach.
Is Michael Weckerly still on there?
No.
Oh,
No.
he's a bud of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
cool.
great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he not on Dragon's Den anymore?
No.
Oh, maybe we're not as close as I thought. I didn't really know that. How long has it been? Yeah, he's still a good dude. So who are you talking about?
Dave Chilton, the wealthy barber. He wrote the book, The
Yeah,
Wealthy
yeah, yeah.
Barber.
Right.
So he's my coach, so he kind of helped me prepare.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get on Dragon's Den? Because of your story and everything?
The story and like the media that I've done and the impact that I've had and the outreach. Like I do outreach all the time. Like I'm always
See, I
doing-
think that's great.
Yeah.
So if I've come across it all as cavalier, or have I come across as cavalier or dismissive of your story?
No.
Good.
I mean, we're still here, right? So-
Yeah. Would you just storm off? The fact that you could punch me probably before anything else. What?
Put it down.
Put it down.
You're making a lot of noise with it.
Oh, sorry. I was going to eat it and test it. We'll do
For
that.
you.
Yeah, before we say goodbye. So, yeah, I hope I haven't come off as insincere. I'm actually very interested in your story and what you've done. And I think that it's great, though, that you sound like you're doing something really positive with your life now and for others.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm happy for you for that part.
Yeah, because like a lot of people come out of prison and like they come out of places of really bad abuse, and you know I didn't come from any of that.
Yeah.
So I think I have to use what I have and what I've been blessed with to sort of help lift other people up, because they're so smart and they have so much potential. But when you just keep getting beaten down, whether it's by the system or it's whether by society, it makes it very hard to keep going. Which then you can go back and spin back into addiction when you just keep getting rejected.
Yeah. So maybe it's not even as much about drug mule life as addiction and drugs and alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Like that's probably what led you down.
Oh, 100%
path,
it was.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
More than anything else, right?
Yeah.
And then bad choices.
Yeah. A good kid, bad choices, bad people, and bad substances.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But you're still so young, like you have this whole other life now ahead of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to do these positive things. Do you go out and speak to people and
yeah,
kids
different
and
groups.
stuff? Or, oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We should give you like a podcast here or something.
Yeah, maybe.
We should, if you want.
Because I think I'm not the only one that, you know, has experienced the system. There's so many people that have worked in the system or, I don't know, just been involved in some way in the system that can, you know, elaborate on, because not just my opinion matters, not just my story matters. It's like a collective that can really make an impact.
How do they get a hold of you? Do you want people to contact you?
Yeah, you can message me on the Instagram, Cons and Kernels, or my personal Instagram, Terry Tuesday, and shoot me a message and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no drugs or alcohol. This
No.
girl is on a new path.
Yes.
So
See this glow? This sober glow right there.
I like it.
Right?
I hope that's true.
It's true, 100% true. Plus, I get drug tested, so.
You do?
Yeah.
Is that the real reason why you aren't doing drugs and will you get in trouble? You go back to jail if you do drugs or drink?
Well, yeah, and I'm also 3,000 times more productive being sober. I'm making my family so proud, and that's the whole point of this, right?
Yeah, good. See, that's
my motivation.
Good for you. Yeah.
Reaching my true potential, sobriety.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, we're gonna leave now.
Yeah.
We don't know how to end these things, so let's just
Okay.
walk that way.
Let's grab this.
Maybe music will have play. Whoop, whoop, whoop.